the most important information that you require. And if you have any information requirements after this, you can send us an email. Pascal has already told you a lot about the different types of jobs, off the job, on the job, for a bank apprentice. And we would like to show you a film now, just to give you an insight of the life of an apprentice in Switzerland. I think it explains a lot more in the film. I don't have any popcorn, I'm afraid. Chocolate would be okay.
My name's Jake Miller. I couldn't live without sports. Being physically and mentally fit means everything to me. Staying in shape takes daily training. In my apprenticeship at Bank Gutzwiller and with the under-18 junior team of FC Basel. Life is like football. If you want to be part of the best, you've got to work hard. Sometimes you need to dribble the ball down the pitch by yourself, but you're at your strongest as a team. A successful team needs a good coach, someone who's quick to recognize talent, who knows how to anticipate people's weaknesses and foster their strengths. This also means having the right environment that makes top performances possible in the first place. It's no surprise that FC Basel's junior program is among the best in Europe. I'm lucky to have the same kind of good conditions in my training as a banker. To make sure Swiss bank apprentices are all on the same high level, we take classes at CYP alongside vocational school. At CYP, each student gets his or her own tablet. This lets me stay connected with other students and with my instructors, wherever I happen to be. I can look at the training schedules whenever I want. If I'm interested in a specific subject, I'll quickly look it up. And if I've got a question, I can discuss it in the online forum. In my daily activities, it's important that I put what I've learned into practice. I need to be able to link theory directly with practice. What really helps is my instructor. For me, she's like the coach in football. She coaches me and is always ready to listen when I've hit a stumbling block. A banking apprenticeship has many facets. Of course, you need to have a certain flair for numbers, but you also need to know what's happening out in the world. Everything that happens has an impact on the global economy. The regular interaction with experienced employees is highly educational. It helps me see things from a different perspective for a change. What I especially enjoy is the direct contact with customers. This makes teamwork fun, even if it means a lot of hard work. Before you can start with the theoretical knowledge of class instruction at CYP, you first have to pass the introductory test. If you don't pass, you have to go back over the books and try again at a later point in time. The big advantage of this system is that I can see right away where I need to shape up. I know where I need to focus. Acknowledging a failure like that isn't easy. The good news is that my instructor evaluates the test results and knows exactly where I need to improve. We can concentrate on just the right areas. But this time, I won't let anything get in my way. I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm posting a quick question on the forum, and while I'm training, my instructor and fellow students will be working for me in the background. Learning is like training in sport. Sometimes it's tough, but when you know exactly what you're working toward and have a clear goal, it makes it much easier. And at the end, you can be proud of your performance and the result. What's important is that my instructor and my coach are always there for me. They help me achieve a balance between private and professional life. And when you've got a team like that supporting you in the background, it's actually fun to study and learn. With all that preparation, the introductory test shouldn't be a problem this time. Yes! All the effort paid off! After a loss, you've got to pick yourself back up. You can't bury your head in the sand. That's the key to personal growth and success. CYP is the Training and Competence Center for Basic Training in Banking. More than 5,500 trainees, high school graduates, and adults attend the center each year. CYP was founded in 2003 by the largest Swiss banks in cooperation with the Swiss Bankers Association, with the goal of creating uniform standards for banking education and training, and to make sure bankers in training are equipped to meet the future demands of the workplace. The best thing about the educational concept of CYP is that you can put together your daily schedule on an individual basis. You only take the classes you really need. In these modules, you target general issues and current topics that are of relevance in the banking world. Group work sessions facilitate a lively exchange among participants. They also give you a chance to learn how other banks tackle various challenges. The instructor often joins in the discussion to steer it in the right direction. This ensures a good mix of individual performance and support. You can deepen your knowledge of various topics, discuss current issues within the group, and ask questions. Then you get answers that not only help you, but also help the others around you. Sometimes you have to be persistent and dig deeper. You can't always settle for the first answer given. The financial sector isn't an exact science. To put our theoretical learning into practice, we do group work including role-play exercises. You can tell right away if you've understood the material and where you've still got some gaps. That's how we learn as a group, helping each other and working together toward a common goal. Backed by the latest technology and the expertise of our instructors, we develop skills that we can implement one-to-one in our everyday work life. And who knows, you might discover fringe benefits outside of class too. At CYP, we not only learn things for a career in banking, but also for life in general. You make connections and create a network that will stay with you for the rest of your life.
Mrs. Robinson's not going to be happy. What do you mean, John? That's an old movie. Years, just miles.
Someday playing in front of the crowd here, that would be a dream come true. Fortunately, Emma picks me up and brings me back down to the playing field of reality. But nothing can stop me from dreaming. And until then, we'll watch our heroes in Santiago Park Stadium from the sidelines. And no matter what happens, we're ready and prepared for the future. We're getting the best banking education in the world.
So I think you've got an insight now to the life of an apprentice, and I'm just going to go through the different parts with you just briefly. You saw that our apprentice went to the bank to work. That's on the job. That's what Pascal previously explained, the 3 different years in the different departments, and our guided and coached the vocational training on the job. You recognise the building, CYP? That's the second pillar, that's us. That's then off the job. 30 times in the 3 years they come to us and study banking. So that's really off the job part. And the third off the job part here, the third pillar, is the commercial vocational school. Alexia will provide you with more information to that pillar later on in the presentation. If we look at the responsibilities, I'm not going to go over the slide again in detail because a lot of the information you have already received from Pascal. But it is very, very important that it's not just the banking side or the learning side. We do coach these young individuals. Whoever's had children in this age, they know how difficult it is. So it's a very challenging job to keep everything under one roof and to keep them on track, more or less on track. The most important figure here is really 80%. When you just think of all the apprentices that we have in Switzerland, 80% of them have a job at the end of this apprenticeship. They can choose if they want to stay at the bank, but the most important thing for young people is they have the choice. This is the only function if the Swiss Banking Corporation didn't work with us or work with the bank so well, this would never happen. The Swiss Banking Association is like the big brother. It's watching over the banking sector, it defines the curriculum, the examinations, so every bank apprentice in Switzerland has the same grounds. They have the same learning objectives, they have the same examination at the end of the day. It doesn't matter which bank they are taking the banking apprenticeship, it's the same for the whole of Switzerland. The curriculum includes 106 learning objectives. These learning objectives can be off the job and on the job, and that is the beauty of this system. It's not just theory. A lot of these learning objectives are also social competences, methods, how can I talk to a client, how can I present something. It's not just bank, 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 bank. It's a mixture of everything. So you have a fully qualified employee at the end of the 3 years. The danger is sometimes when we just study, we know everything theoretically, but we don't know that we have to wear perhaps a suit to work, we don't know how to pick up the phone, we don't know how to talk to clients, and that they also learn within these 3 years. Here you have an overview. You don't have to read it all because it's in German anyway, but it's just to give you an idea what the learning objectives are in view of on the job and off the job. You see in the last 2 columns, here would be on the job, and the very last column is off the job. Some learning objectives will only be covered on the job, others off the job, and some with both. We love those that are covered on both sides because the learning effect is a lot better. Here you have an English example of one learning objective. I kindly ask you just to read that through.
And, well, yeah, some of the rules that you have to know. And, yeah, well, you don't have to have a big preparation because, like, you learn everything on the job.
Now just imagine we have an apprentice that comes to CYP at a course day and learns everything theoretically about accounts. What is a savings account, what's a youth savings account, a current account, and it's all theory. And then they go back to the job and they work at the cash desk the first 6 months, and they have the possibility to advise a client at the cash desk over an account. They can sell a youth savings account, and that is the beauty. They have the theoretical side, then they can really transfer this knowledge to on the job, and then the learning effect is fantastic because they don't have to learn anything by heart then. They know, oh, that was the account, I could sell it, I knew the advantages, disadvantages, I knew the difficulties, and now I know the product. And that is really the beauty of both sides. The apprentice and the bank know in advance what is going to be covered, which year and which month of the year. If we just take the example now for this learning objective with a cash desk, here you see, here all the accounts will be learned in November in the first year of the apprenticeship. The banks try and make sure that a first year apprentice will work at the cash desk. So that means the first half year the apprentice will be working here at the cash desk and will also have all these theoretical knowledge. So that is really, really important that we also work together with the banks. That's a responsibility of the bank as well, to do the half-yearly training and planning, to say, okay, CYP instructs these things, within the first 6 months, we make sure, if possible, that our apprentices all work at the cash desk at this time. When it comes to a topic like mortgages or other forms of credit, they try to make sure that their apprentices are always working in this department at the same time, so the theory correlates with the practice.
What does that change and how does that start to change?
And now we're coming to us, CYP. You heard in the film we were founded in 2003, and what was the motivation that time to do this? We wanted to ensure that every bank apprentice in Switzerland, despite in which bank they were working in, had the same level of education. We didn't want that apprentices that worked perhaps in a little savings account in a village somewhere in the mountains didn't have a professional education in comparison to perhaps a student at UBS or Credit Suisse. We wanted to ensure that every apprentice had the same chances. And that's why CYP was founded at that time, and it's also an economies of scale. You can imagine a little bank somewhere in a village, that example, would not have the resources to provide such a learning program, all the studies, to provide that just for 1 or 2 apprentices. It wouldn't be possible. So that is the beauty of this situation. Every bank can send their apprentices to us and know that they will be all learning the same topics. And also, it's really interesting. When you see the apprentices, they all come from different banks and they're all in the same room. So you've got UBS, Credit Suisse, a Raiffeisen Bank, small savings banks, and they are so proud of their employees. They say, well, our bank, we can do this, and our bank, we have this product. And you can really see after the first year, they identify themselves with their own companies, and they're proud of their own products. And it's very good for the networking as well. Not just adults should be networking, young people should be networking with it. Oh, in your bank you have this, oh, in our bank we have that. It's very, very good just to form the social competencies. Here, if you look at these figures, we have almost all of the apprentices and high school graduates in Switzerland. So we really are the centre of competence for basic education in banking. We also have 85 employees, and we're surrounded in Switzerland. We have 12 locations. We provide these education programs in German, French and Italian. And it doesn't matter in what region and what language, they all have the same education.
So can I ask, when you say 90% of market share, does that mean of any type of apprentice, 90% going to
Banking. Very good question, thank you. It's in the banking sector. So
Okay.
all apprentices that do a banking apprenticeship, 90% of those are with us.
Where do the others go?
They're normally in the cantonal banks, and that's more of a political situation. In a lot of small cantons, they want to keep it in-house. So it's a shame for those apprentices because they really are just tunnel visioned in their own bank and don't have any opportunities to see what it's like behind the scenes of other banks.
But mostly throughout the country, they come here?
Yes.
And do you provide them residences? Or do
No, they travel. It's a daily, it's a very good question. These 30 modules are just one day.
Okay.
And because we have 12 locations, we make sure that those people that are perhaps in Bern, they go to our classroom in Bern. Those that live in the vicinity of Zurich come to Zurich. So they don't have to travel very far. It's normally a maximum of an hour.
Okay.
Yes?
So you're fully funded by the private Swiss banks, or how are you funded? How, and what's
We're
the
a
relationship with the
non-profit
government?
association,
Okay.
but we do make a profit.
Okay.
No, but sorry. Well, we provide courses, and the bank pays for these. So the
Okay.
bank has to pay for their apprentices to come
Okay.
to school here.
Funded by the banks.
And the banks founded this, 5 large banks, and so it's like, okay, we pay CYP, but at the end of the day, it goes, the banks benefit from it.
And are you fully independent of any sort of broader government oversight? Is it completely just within the banks, the programs?
Our learning concept is our concept. I'll show you that in a second.
Okay.
We are independent in how we provide the information, how we teach.
Okay.
But what we teach is set from the Swiss Banking Association with the curriculum.
Okay.
The 106 learning objectives are defined from the Swiss Banking Association.
Okay.
So they say all students in Switzerland have to know all of this. And we decide how are we going to transmit this information. How are we going to provide it? Are we going to teach with films? Are we going to do frontal education? Are we going to do group work? That's our learning concept.
Okay.
And that's unique.
And I just want to finer point. So government is not saying you have to teach it X, Y, or Z. Private banks sit down, put the curriculum together, drive it, fund it, and students come through that process. There's no necessarily oversight.
No. There's a task force.
Okay.
Roughly every 3 years. Is it every 3 years that the curriculum will be? Different parties from different banks sit together with the Swiss Banking Association. They say, okay, what has changed in the banking industry in the last 3 years? What do we have to adapt? Are these learning objectives now old? Do we have to adapt them? They will all be adapted in a gremium, decided on, okay, these are the new learning objectives, and they are the rules. Every education system has to abide by these. For example, we have 90%, so we're in a very privileged position that we can cover most of the apprentices. But the other 10% also have to abide by these learning objectives, because they will be the basis of the examination at the end of the 3 years.
And the Swiss Banking Association is quasi-government, or is that?
It's not a government, it's an association.
Okay, it's just the association.
Yes, that's right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But isn't it the case that that curriculum has to be approved by government? So it's developed by the private sector.
Yes,
but
it
it's
has to be
by government.
approved.
That's the oversight.
It has to be approved, but I don't think there's ever been a case where they haven't approved it. Or has there been a case?
Normally they just do a consistency test if the curriculum is really consistent with regard to the content, if everything formally is fulfilled, and then they get the recognition. On the government side, they don't have this knowledge, to intervene. So it's just a formal consistency test, and then they get the approval. The only thing is they have to make sure that it's recognized all over, that all the banks are involved in kind of consultation process, that it works for small banks as well as for big banks. So this is kind of observation government or the federal administration is doing. But no, but then if it's okay, then they go and train all the responsible persons.
Thank you.
Can you describe the trainers that you use?
Those that are teaching.
They're professional teachers?
They're professional. I'm one of those. I am an example of one of those.
Or?
They come from, we have two backgrounds. So either you come from a banking background where you've had banking experience and studied banking, or you come from the teacher side where you have the pedagogical side where you can, the methods how you can teach will be used then. And we're in a group where we have two coaches. They come from the teacher background and one trainer that comes from the banking background. So you've got a mixture of both.
Okay.
So in the process of deciding the curriculum, is there often conflict, or is it pretty easy to say these are the standards that everybody should adhere to?
I've never been in this gremium myself, so I wouldn't be able to answer this question, but I can presume it's not, we don't change the learning objectives 100% every 3 years, they're just adapted.
Maybe a better question would be, when it was founded in 2003, was there a lot of disagreement, or does it come together fairly easily?
Can I save that answer for the very end of the presentation, because there could be similar questions to that, but I'll pick up on that at the end.
Maybe it can help you.